This is the Tom Anderson Show, broadcasting live from the KVNT studios, 7 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Well, as we continue our journey into YouTube and the most popular channel hosts and celebs in the world of casino slot machines, the big denoms, big denomination bets, huge wins, there is no more prolific or bigger gambler filming his slot play than our next guest, Scott Richter, AKA the Big Jackpot. Boom, boom, boom. You can watch him. I'm a huge fan. Rick, our whole team at the Tom Anderson Show, watch him and follow him, AKA Raja. Scott launched a slot play YouTube channel just 4.5 years ago. I mean, it's new when you look at some that have been around for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. He's nearly reached 250,000 subscribers with almost 86 million views. Without a doubt, the biggest bets on slots on YouTube. Scott's channel is a must watch. It's a must subscribe. He doesn't even mind saying hi to people that go by. I mean, now he's a celeb in casinos. He's sitting there within his entourage and probably security, and he greets people. So, Raja, what's it like now? The first question is, as casinos are opening and you're getting your channel back into full gear, are you guys full-time now, or are you still dealing with the delays because of the pandemic?
Yeah. It's definitely we're full-time, and we even during the pandemic and the closures of a lot of casinos, we were full-time with, producing content and, making, videos and editing videos. But yeah, it's been definitely different now. We started going to South Dakota. Deadwood, South Dakota were the first casinos to open up about 3 weeks ago, and we were there on opening day. And then this week we went to Tampa, Florida for the Hard Rock, the Seminole Hard Rock down there. And, they're just packed. And a lot of other casinos are opening all over, and we're looking forward to, Nevada, and especially Las Vegas, opens on June 4th, and we plan to be out there like the 7th, 8th, and 9th of June. We haven't decided for next Tuesday. Usually we go live on like Tuesday and Wednesdays, so we haven't decided where we're going to play live from. We're looking at like Sacramento or maybe Deadwood early in the week. But unfortunately, the only state that seems to be the very slowest for opening anything, and even the casinos, is Colorado. We were hoping Colorado would have opened up, sooner. It makes it much easier, for visiting casinos. But unfortunately, we're like the last location to open.
And that's where you're at right now. We just interviewed Adam Holtz from Focus on the Family's Plugged In. They do movie and game reviews, and they're in Colorado Springs. And I know you're in Colorado too. So
yeah, we're in Denver.
Yeah, no, Denver, great. Well, listen, your channel clearly has huge success, and you've given me some counsel off air, and Scott and I have talked, and friends where he says, hey, I'd recommend this channel or that channel. And then we went dormant a bit during the pandemic. But I've interviewed, I think, maybe 6 other YouTube channel hosts that focus on slot play. And all of them identify you, the Big Jackpot, as the creme de la creme, kind of the pinnacle. I mean, you're like Yoda, brother, a better looking Yoda. So as the superlative, kind of the YouTube star in this channel genre, do you feel pressure to always up the ante, no pun intended, for slot play, like how much you're betting, or your total video bet during the let's say 1 hour of recording? I mean, what are you doing to keep up with this notoriety? Because pretty soon you're going to be at 1 million. What do you do?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely tough to come up with new things. We've done $1,000 spins before, 100 of them, 150 of them in a night. The outside of the $1,000 spin is the largest individual machine to play, which there's very few of, is a $5,000 spin machine. There is one like at the Aria in Las Vegas. So we are leading up to we're going to do something pretty big on that and do 50 spins at $5,000 a spin for $250,000, at play.
Wow.
In the future.
Wow.
And we also like fast tap, which fast tap means like, spin a lot faster, at $40, $50 a spin, we could be going, through a lot of money really quickly. But yeah, we're constantly trying to, also hit new casinos that nobody's ever played out live. And we've, broke down a lot of barriers for other slot channels, so that they can now record at places and, visit other locations.
One thing I've noticed, we're talking with the Big Jackpot, you can subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's a must. Even if you're not a gambler or a gamer, you can do it vicariously through him. If you are like me, when I can afford it and when I have the time, I go. It's instructive, and he does all the heavy lifting. So in other words, if you want to see different denominations and different bet strategies, yeah, it's arbitrary. Sure, there's an algorithm, and Scott wouldn't know, nor would I know, so I don't think he's going to ever coach anybody. But in terms of how many times you bet and when you have wins, I know you've reached the 100,000 win mark on a slot. I watched that several times. I've seen you bet $1,000, $500, nearly every video, $100 or thereabout. What's your typical, and I bet you've been asked this many times, what's your typical budget for a video shoot? And is there a sweet spot you can recommend for slot machine denominations? So first, are you bringing typically for any video shoot 50,000 in your pocket, 100,000? Are you willing to say it? If you don't, that's fine. And then secondly, is there a denomination where you're like, hey, $25, 3 credits seems to work better than others?
Yeah. So we take a lot of safety measures, especially with large sums of money. And we usually don't travel with much. So usually what I do is casinos offer with lines of credit. So I really don't have to, maybe I have $100 in my pocket. I usually use casino line of credit. So I'll open up a line of credit. We visit the casino. You go to the cashier cage, and then I say I need 50,000 and they call them markers when you use your credit. I need 50,000 in markers. They print out TITOs, and TITO stands for ticket in, ticket out, which are the paper on the machines that print out tickets for you. And that's how I usually play. So we have large budgets. Most of my credit lines at the casinos are 100,000 plus, but we're not actually physically, ever, carrying cash. A couple of years ago, we did do that, and TSA stopped us, and it was a big ordeal. And they didn't, they couldn't understand that I was a slot player and not a drug dealer.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, and it's security there. You've got tough guys there helping you. But, you don't even want an altercation where someone weird comes and says, give me your money.
No.
You don't even want to, I don't care if you had 50 Navy SEALs. You don't want those issues or problems. And then regarding the denominations, you can't blame me for asking, is there I notice, and that maybe it's a wives' tale, but if you look at some of the other YouTube channels that are slot playing that are lower denominations than you, it seems like the higher you go, the better chance to win. But if I track some of your channel play and videos, it's not always like that. I've watched you burn up 50,000, and it's like, man, I guess the higher denomination didn't incite a bigger win.
So the way most casinos are set up, the higher denomination machines have a smaller percentage of hold, but that's not always the case. As well as, it's like I tell people, the way machines do work with the hold is they have a percentage, but if you have 100 spins, you could still lose all 100 spins, or you could have 100 spins that you win all. But my sweet spot is usually that $25 to $50 per spin bet.
So not per denomination, per spin. Got it.
Per spin, yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't really care if it's 100 quarters at 25 cents or 25 dollars at $1 or $5 chips.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you came to Alaska, and right now our cruise ship industry has been decimated because of COVID-19 and it's there, and you know that because you're a traveler, and then you videotape. Did you have fun on that one when you came to Alaska? Because I watched all those videos and gave you some shout-outs.
Yeah, we had a great time. Alaska was one of my favorite cruises ever, and we were actually talking about that the other day of just how devastating it must be, because I know a lot of those ports, when I was talking to people, they said, 300 or 400 people live here normally, but cruise season was 4,000 people.
Yeah, and they canceled it. They canceled the cruise season for the summer, so all of those folks with their gift shops Nobody's coming. I mean, I doubt a local's
Yeah.
going to go buy a, Visit Skagway shirt. So, well, listen, we're talking with the Big Jackpot, and we're going to come right back. We have a super quick break, and I want to ask him about his new app and how all of you can get connected. If you want to buy one of his shirts, if you want to find out where he's going to be, he's kind of like a rock star now where people at least track him. I want to get into some of his favorite hotels, and I know there are many, so it won't be all-inclusive when he answers. There are many hotels and casinos, and he's got a lot of relationships. So if he mentions 3, I'm sure there's 30. But we'll get into a few of those when we come back with Raja. Boom, boom, boom. His name is Scott Richter. He's a sensation, the Big Jackpot. And this is the Tom Anderson Show.
This is the Tom Anderson Show, broadcasting live from the KVNT studios, 7 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Boom, boom, boom. The Big Jackpot. He is a sensation, and he's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Scott Richter joins us, Raja. And let me tell you, first things first, you got to subscribe to the Big Jackpot. I want to see him get over 250,000 subscribes. We had Scott, we had Randy Santello on last week, world champion eater, big guy, 6'5", and he was just under 1 million. And of course, I joked it wasn't from my show, but he said, yeah, maybe your show will push me over 1 million. And then a day later, it went over 1 million. But in your case, you're getting up there. And as I mentioned in the last segment, and we're going to make a YouTube video out of this, so you'll be looking at scenes of Scott playing in his big wins. We'll grab a couple clips and play a few seconds. And we're also going to put online on the video ways you can connect with him. Let's get into your app, and let's get into how people, whether they're groupies that physically can follow you or that just adore you and want to buy shirts, want to help out, want to donate money. A lot of Patreon subscribers are, I don't know which platform you use. Tell us all about that, the app, and then ways they can buy products and donate.
Yeah. So our app is called the Big Jackpot Slot app, and it's available on both the iOS and Android store. If you just search the Big Jackpot, it'll come right up. And it's been incredible. We have over 150,000 downloads of it. Always have a couple of thousand people a day playing, and just been a terrific community experience. There's different teams you can join. We have slot contests throughout the day, and just terrific. We have really cool boosters. We have some really neat games in development, but it's been terrific. Everyone's really enjoyed it a lot, and it's been a huge success. We also, for people who do want to follow us or want to have a more intimate experience with us, we do have a Patreon. And it's patreon.com/the Big Jackpot, and that's our Patreon. And we have about 900 Patreons in the private group now. And I do a lot of private slot play on there. Plus, we post a lot of articles, and people talk a lot more slot stuff. And just a great experience. As far as merchandise goes, we do sell a lot of T-shirts and different stuff, and we have a website. You can go to thebigjackpot.com, and it's under our merchandise link, or I think it says shirts and stuff.
And so if someone gets that, I mean, that's a fun thing to do. In fact, I'm going to order one because I was looking, and I was going to get one for my kid, but I thought, well, I don't know. He's young, but he loves you, and he's a subscriber, Grayson, and he lives half-time in Denver and half-time here, ironically. So the fun thing is to get in your garb, your Big Jackpot, your Raja, your Boom 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 apparel, and then go gamble, right? Because, I mean, then you're going to see like-minded people that are fans of yours. And by the way, Scott Richter is one of the most humble men I know. I'm bragging about him. He's just answering the questions. I reached out to him to interview. He didn't call me. So I want to compliment you on that you're very thoughtful, and there's a nexus to that. So I encourage people to buy your apparel. We have the website on the screen, but also you give back. And you've been what? You've been in the hospitality industry since a young man. You've owned bars, restaurants, you've had businesses online, but you always give back. And I look at how doting of a dad you are with your sons. Is that part and parcel to your business life and persona, that you give back to community and charities?
Yeah, no, we like to see. I like to see other people be successful. Just like in the casino, I love when other people hit jackpots. And actually, like even when we were in Alaska, we donated to the Boys and Girls Club. I honestly couldn't tell you which. I don't think it was Skagway. I think it was Ketchum. One of the ports we were at.
Ketchikan.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, we donated $1,000 to the Boys and Girls Club.
I remember
when we were there. And I mean, she couldn't believe it. And I think the lady had to drive like 2 hours to come meet us because it's like the Boys and Girls Club are made up of multiple areas
in that region. But the fact is that you came in and you have no connection to them directly. You may support the group nationally, and then you did that. In terms of your style, your videos, do you look at yourself, even if you're not labeled as such, as a mentor to these other channels? Do you think they're watching you to kind of get ideas and to look at style? For instance, you're not cussing. You're not drinking booze, so it's very family friendly. You're not wasted. I've seen some channels, each to his own, but where they're drunk or they're acting like they're on drugs. You don't do that stuff. Yours is family friendly.
Yeah, no, we try and, keep it clean. I mean, we do have some, humor and some stuff.
Of course.
We'll touch on some edgy subjects sometimes. Because, sometimes I'm playing 4, 5, 6 hours a night and I run out of stuff to talk about.
Of course.
I like to keep it clean. The other thing is like I tell people, gamble responsibly. If you don't have the money, don't gamble. It's not a, make money, get rich business opportunity. It's for fun, relaxation. Some people want to go to the movie theater and blow $100. Some people want to go to the bar, go to, dancing, whatever, blow $100. Some people want to go to the casino and blow $100. It's for fun. Obviously, we all want to win, but don't don't go with the expectations of winning. Go with the expectations of having a good time.
Absolutely. If someone is a newbie and wants to get into a YouTube channel, they need 1,000 subscribes from what I've read and 4,000 watching hours with uncopyright protected music. For instance, me, Tom, I'm not even at 4,000 with my newer YouTube channel. Why? Because I just interviewed BJ Thomas, Ted Nugent, and others, and guess what I played? Their music. Well, of course, YouTube says, we're flagged it. So those watch hours don't count. Do you have a lot of people calling you on how to set up and produce their YouTube channel? Because in a sense, you're not only a gambler extraordinaire, but you're also a YouTube channel expert now, especially with you got your new logo, your awesome sound bed, whoever chose that. Congrats to them because you really have a high, Steven Spielberg level video intro. And are you kind of a guide to people for that now?
Yeah, no, I get a lot of people always asking. And I actually, while we were in Tampa, I helped a slot channel, Scratch Queen 407 down there, hit 1,000 subscribers. And I've probably helped about 5 channels now hit their 1,000 subscribers so that they can go live and monetize by taking over. What I do is I take over their slot channels and play on it, and a bunch, obviously my followers come over, but it is tough. And even like you were mentioning with the copyright strikes. So it's not a strike, but it's a copyright issue, and it's very hard for us because most casinos have music blaring. So we get hit all the time with music.
And you mean on a speaker? You mean you're at Cosmopolitan, and the casino itself has speakers with pop music playing, and how can you talk and turn that down at the same time? You probably can't.
Yeah. No, I mean we do have some casinos that will work with us to turn the music down, but larger casinos, they in a small in Deadwood, they'll probably do anything in the world for me because they love having.
That's
me.
Right.
At the Cosmo, they love having me, but I'm still they still they have thousands of people, so they can't be like, let's shut the music off. The Raja's here.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, because of your popularity and notoriety and huge following, do all casinos or do most casinos say, heck yes, Raja can come and film? Or do you have folks that still say, no, we don't want you filming here? And specifically like in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we still do have, some, so there's definitely some, like I said, a big goal for me is to go to new casinos that nobody's ever been to before. And we have helped open up a lot of, locations. Example, Tampa Hard Rock. I was the first channel to ever film there 2 years ago. And for 2 years, I didn't return for another 2 years, and nobody filmed in between. Well, was allowed to film. I'm sure people took videos, without permission, but a lot of the casinos, we've helped, and now Tampa, Florida is allowing other slot channels to film. we actually have a very large hotel casino chain in Las Vegas that's never allowed filming, that another successful channel actually got thrown out of and complained about, that we've now got, permission and, wants us to come, film, which is going to be really big, since they own a lot of properties.
Yeah, no, well, for sure. I stay at the Bellagio when I go, and there's not as much sizzle there in the casino, older crowd, but I know that Cosmo's been one that you dig, and Ari and others. So we will keep watching. And any announcements, anything you want folks to know? We got about 30 seconds left.
Yeah. Definitely check out our Big Jackpot slot app if they like to gamble and have fun. It's free to play it. Uses imaginary coins, so it doesn't cost you anything. 100% free. And our next first event that we are still planning on doing is my birthday bash at the Atlantis in Reno in July. We'll obviously follow all social distancing guidelines or whatever's in place. And we're just looking forward to, more casinos opening back up and everything getting back to normal.
I love it, man. I'm one of your biggest fans. His name is Scott Richter, Raja, The Big Jackpot. You can go to YouTube, The Big Jackpot. Please subscribe. We're going to post websites, how you can buy his apparel and products and get his app. Scott, always a pleasure. Win big, my friend. Boom, boom, boom.
Thanks. Thank you, Tom, and thanks for having me on your show.
You betcha. Scott Richter, The Big Jackpot, right here on The Tom Anderson Show.